Sad, man. Completely and utterly sad. People actually went and bought that fight, and you actually saw people. No, you actually saw Mayweather and Paul make money. Because I've been trying to just wrap my head around it. Because literally, before I did this video, I just started saying that, wait, it makes no logical sense. It makes no logical sense. So before I did this video, I had to figure out why. And I know why. But before I now know why, I just said to myself that, okay, this makes no logical sense. Mayweather is one of the best fight boxers of all time. You can make an argument that he may be one of technically the best fighters that we've ever seen in boxing. This Logan, Jake, I don't know who they are, just one of these Paul dudes. He's not a boxer. And I know that boxing is a sport and it's a very difficult sport to master. It isn't a fight, it's a sport that requires discipline, training, and you having a specific technical ability and proficiency to be amazing at that sport. So if you've not had several years in the amateur, several years of training to perfect this craft, and you now go up against not only a guy who is more experienced, better trained, but is considered one of the most skilled. What are we watching here? What are we watching? Now, if we're seeing Mayweather come out and he wants to fight 2021 Canelo, oh my God, I'm in. Because I know how good Canelo is now, and obviously I know how good Floyd Mayweather is, even although it's a bit unfair. The fight that we wanted to see is if we had peak Floyd Mayweather against Canelo now, which Floyd would never do. So I guess to say that why would anybody pay for that? Why would it's stupid? It is a mockery of boxing. It is a complete mockery of boxing. And these dudes coming in here, they're not the boxers. Boxing is a sport. Like, I think that's just, and it goes to how I know how they bamboozle everyone, but in my mind, it's no, boxing is a sport. Like, why would you buy this? Why would you even care about this? Even when people were asking me, like, don't insult my intelligence. This is stupid. I don't care about this trash. But then, as I tried to figure out the why, I was like, okay, marketing, selling. 99% of people are not boxing fans. They're not. 99% of people don't see boxing as a specific sport in anything. They see it as entertainment. Why is Mike Tyson the most popular boxer of all time? He was very good though. He was very good. But what was so popular was because he entertained. And Mike Tyson even said that no, cause D'Amato wanted me to win spectacularly in a most extravagant fashion. So I went in there with the intention of knocking out my opponents in as quick a time as possible. I was not there to go 12 rounds. So people, they are rushing to Mike Tyson because they want to be entertained. 99% of people don't watch boxing based on, oh my gosh, look at his movement, his defense. They watch it because they want to be entertained. Why Mayweather made so much money was because he was cocky and they wanted to see him beat. That is why the Pacquiao fight made so much money, because people were convinced that no, Pacquiao has the punching power to shut this guy's mouth up and to beat him. They never rushed to Mayweather's fight because he was entertaining or so forth. They didn't rush to Mayweather's fight because they were trying to look at his amazing boxing skill, his technique, his defensive move. They watched it because they wanted to see him beat. Now, some people appreciated his boxing talents, but 99% of people are like, no, I want to see him beat. Or there's another portion, many blocks, who said, man, let this black guy say what's up. So why did they buy this fight? It's marketing. And if you can market anything to anybody, if you can somehow come up with a promotional plan that gets people interested, curious, and excited. Interested, curious, excited. But the key word here is curious. And that's how they got people. They'll never get me. They'll never get me. But how they got people into this was curiosity. What if? What if this guy beats Mayweather? Paul, this guy is super famous. How is he even in the ring with Mayweather? Why is Mayweather even fighting this YouTube star? And that curiosity is what people will say, okay. Because it's funny because Francis Ngannou, who obviously is the UFC heavyweight champion, he was like, so Mayweather walked away with 20 million. what are we doing wrong in UFC? And I think most guys put it to him, and it's obvious, like Francis, the UFC is still growing. You're not getting paid properly. Dana White is pocketing a lot of that money because, trust me, UFC is too big a sport right now for the kind of pay cut that you guys receive. But the issue, Francis, is marketing. Is more people want to be entertained than to appreciate excellence. More people just want to be entertained at something that is obscure, weird, and curious than they are to see, man, this guy's an amazing fighter. This guy is an amazing at this craft. Because when you look at UFC, these guys are incredible at mixed martial arts. These are the greatest mixed martial artists that we know on the planet. But that isn't going to get people as interested as this white blonde kid who is super famous and everything, fighting one of the greatest boxers of all time. How odd and weird and strange that is what gets people excited, is what gets people intrigued. So Floyd had the last laugh, and it was so funny because as I go up and everything, I was like, okay, what's this nonsense? There is a clip, and I'm sure you've seen this clip. There is a clip where Mayweather gives a right hook that hits Paul in the ear. And you know what they say, that just messes up your equilibrium. Whenever you clock someone on the ear, it just messes you up, and normally it can take you down. And the Paul kid was about to go down. He's about to go down, and then you see Mayweather carry. Oh boy, you see Mayweather hold him. Because, of course, Mayweather says that for this thing to be good, we need to both be good. Imagine Rumble in the Jungle and George Foreman calls Muhammad Ali and say, yo, look, man, you know, this is big and everything, but you know what? Let's make this thing really entertaining and so forth. Let's just, I start hitting you, and then you just then hit me, and then you go down, and then it's a whole rope or dope thing and everything. Agreed? These guys got on the phone and agreed. Because it's about money. It's not about competition. This isn't the boxing. It's wrestling. This is wrestling. This is WWF. This is the World Wrestling Federation. It's WWF. It's Jake the Snake. It's Matchman Randy Savage. It's The Rock. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's Mankind. It's all what it is. You know? So, and my thing is that they won. Because they somehow convinced enough people for where they made a lot of money out of this. And I think, because obviously you saw Canelo Alvarez put like the face palm emoji there, man. And here's the thing. Canelo, you can't hate on Mayweather for this. See, initially I hated I say Mayweather, what are you doing? But I'm like, wait a minute. He's retired from boxing. Why can't he continue to make money? No. The people that I have issue with are those that bought the fight. Those are the people I have issue with. I have no issue with Mayweather or Paul. Because in their mind, they're like, you know what? Mayweather's like, I finished boxing. Can I not make some money? I'm not killing anybody. I'm not showing anybody. And people say, oh, you're disgracing boxing. Oh, so Mayweather has to now be a custodian of boxing. No. Boxing. You make that freaking Joshua Fury fight. Not freaking Fury against Wilder again, which nobody wants to see. No, you actually give us the fights that we want to see, like that's which is what UFC gives us. Then maybe boxing can be relevant. But as of right now, no. Because boxing are not giving us the best fights. Because there's no real excitement in boxing. Hence why football has now taken over boxing. Because boxing used to be the biggest sport in the world in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Right now, football is now the big thing. You know, so people are now going to go away from boxing and be like, okay, let's just look at this weird, obscure thing, which is a freaking YouTube personality against a retired boxer who was who was considered the best boxer of all time. But he's retired. He's in his freaking 40s. Marketing. You know, interest, curiosity, and whatsoever, man. I mean, like, subscribe.